Ugh. Nose is kind of stuffy. Feeling tired and just terrible. I think I'm sick. Sick of DC stupidity, that is. You know, the blanket was almost going to be my backdrop. Anyway, I was thinking about doing a vlog about one particular subject I'm going to get into, but then this news came along, and good thing I did kind of procrastinate on it. So first off, I want to talk about the news that Cassie Cain is going to be in a Birds of Prey movie produced by Margot Robbie, and I can't get excited over it. I mean, you'd think I would, but I have no idea what direction they're going to take the character. Maybe I would hope that they do the smart thing and avoid anything Tinian has written. Mostly, I just don't feel any hope for it because DC movies. I can name 2 out of the 5 that I think are actually worth watching. Wonder Woman, which didn't have the strongest third act, and I like it. I bought the Blu-ray, but it was not a perfect movie. And Justice League, which, while a definite improvement over, say, Batman v Superman, still had a lot of its own problems, and not all directorial, not all writing. But I just don't know how a Birds of Prey movie is going to play out. You know, I hear Margot Robbie is producing. She's having some kind of authority in the casting. I don't. Maybe she's perfectly capable of doing the casting. I don't know. I don't know how often actors or actresses really dabble in that. It's usually left up to other people at the studio or something, I think. But so I don't really know how to feel about her influence on that. But I hear, it's going to be a diverse cast, and while diversity is fine, I mean, there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do it, is what I'm saying. If they're picking, if they want to choose a more diverse cast, that's great. Shiva is apparently going to be involved. Katana's going to be involved. Cassie's going to be involved. They are all Asian. Katana's Japanese. Shiva's Chinese, I think. And, Shiva's Chinese because Cassie is half Chinese. And that's fine. That's fine if they want to go that route. I don't know any time when Harley Quinn was associated with the Birds of Prey, but apparently Margot Robbie's going to be Harley Quinn in the movie. But it's like, if you're gonna go with the diversity route, that's fine, but don't make the diversity the only reason people should see this movie. Don't try and make some kind of message you're trying to get across the primary thing, and the story and proper characterization is kind of left on the back burner of a completely different oven. Because that's kind of the route Supergirl's been taking in the last couple of seasons of her TV show. And yeah, like I said in my last vlog, I don't know if I'm going to bother with Season 4. And I did not expect to be doing another improvised vlog twice in the same month. I'm apprehensive about this, but for different reasons as to why I'm apprehensive about Cassie in the comics. And, as soon as they want to get rid of all that orphan nonsense, just throw it away like Tinian threw away, Cassie's good origin and good history, and good characterization. Just do that. Just throw all the orphan stuff away. Batman and Robin Eternal never happened. Then I won't be buying a Bat title again. Warner Brothers has not been great when it comes to their movies in the DC Extended Universe. They have not all been very strong. They have not all been very well made. And Man of Steel, I think, I'm kind of lukewarm on. I can see where they were going with certain things. I think they just needed to do them in different ways to be better accepted. Or just some of them not do at all. Batman v Superman was a horrific dumpster fire with some references to some comic scenes, and Suicide Squad was a mess. And this isn't to say that Margot Robbie is bad at her job, or even the other performers. It's just that Warner Brothers has not given me a reason to get excited over this. To be honest, I am very apprehensive about the prospect of Cassie Cain being in live action. Because, you know, I'm sure that there is a capable teenage girl out there who can both act and do some level of acrobatics and martial arts to be a suitable Cassie Cain. I just don't know that there is a writer in Hollywood and a director in Hollywood that is capable of properly translating the character. I mean, I find it hard enough to see a writer in the comics themselves to get the character right, because look what Tinian did. But not gonna diverge down that rant. Suffice to say that the live-action movie output for DC properties has not left me with a whole lot of hope for Birds of Prey. It's entirely possible that it could be a good movie and Cassandra could be done very well. But the thing of it is, I see a lot of excitement for, oh, Cassie's going to be in a movie, Cassie's going to be in a movie. And it's not a sign of quality because your favorite character is going to be in a movie. It would be a sign of quality if the character were done properly, but that hasn't been very consistent in the films. But I think that the idea of my favorite character is going to be in this, you know, movie or cartoon show, that means it's going to be great because I love this character so much, is very, very self-defeating. It's setting yourself up for massive disappointment. I mean, if I told you I was going to write a story with Black Cat in it, you might think, oh, I'm a fan of Black Cat. She's a fun character. I like everything about her, so this is going to be fun. But if I wrote her completely different from what you understand her to be, that probably wouldn't sit well with you. Especially if this was supposed to be a new status quo for the canon, or a big budget movie project or something. So, while I am apprehensive about it, and I am not holding out much hope, I am not saying Birds of Prey will necessarily be bad. It could be very good. We just don't have a whole lot of historical evidence in recent memory that a live-action DC property will be much good. And speaking of live-action DC properties, it is the 19th as of this recording, and I just watched a little bit ago the trailer for the live-action Titans series for DC Universe streaming service. And oh, sweet, merciful taco monkeys. The working title of this project had to have been, Look at Us Try Too Freaking Hard. I mean, maybe they're looking at the Netflix Marvel properties, because I've seen some of Daredevil, and it's not blatantly gory. It can be very violent. It did not seem to wallow in that. And you got the Teen Freaking Titans with this, you know, expletive Batman and leaving gashes and cuts all over people's bodies, and like everyone's angsty and angry. Give me a break. It's like there was no joy to be had. This was freaking Batman v Superman levels of joylessness, okay? And it's not like I'm a long-time fan of the Titans. I mostly know them from the animated series. So it's not like I'm angry about how the actress playing Starfire is just in a purple dress, or Raven doesn't have the jewel on her forehead, or anything like that. It's like, the preliminary photos we saw months ago didn't really get me angry. It's like, it was still a work in progress then. This... I have not seen so many bad elements from a terrible fan fiction that somehow made it into an official work since reading Batman and Robin Eternal. It does not look good. Okay, it looks dark, it looks overly moody, it looks too freaking angry. And since I'm the angry spork that's saying something, but it doesn't look appealing. And I thought that maybe, it could have been one more reason for me to at least think about signing up for the DC streaming service. No. Right now, the only reason I would have to sign up is for Young Justice Outsiders. And from what I understand, the fee for joining up the service is $8 a month. I'm not convinced I want to pay $8 a month for a cartoon that, sure, I'm anticipating. I have a lot more faith in that, because even though it does have an unfortunate spoiler design, where Stephanie's dressed like her Batman Eternal counterpart, it's like Greg Weisman. He's a pretty good guy. The worst thing that I've watched that he was involved in is the first season of Star Wars Rebels, which I think is probably the weakest season, or at least the one that I disliked the most. But it wasn't necessarily bad. But then again, it's like, how much freedom does Weisman have? Is he sticking to the eternal origin for Stephanie, or is it just the costume? Is he going to incorporate that stupid catchphrase, spoiler alert? Like, dear Lord, that was clever once, not the ensuing 50 times. But yeah, I think it's Thursday right now, so I understand that they're going to have a larger announcement about Young Justice Outsiders tomorrow at San Diego Comic-Con. But unless it's, something really big, then I don't think I'm going to really bother doing a vlog about it. Titans does not look appealing at all. And I think what they're, like, I mentioned Daredevil, right? So I think they're trying to copy Daredevil, put that context upon the Titans where it doesn't quite belong. At least that's what the trailer tells me. Even when Dick Grayson grew up, he still maintained a level of humor. And I didn't see any humor in this in this trailer at all. I saw no humor whatsoever, especially from Grayson. There are elements in a story, in a world, that work well with some characters, not well with others. What's really sticking out for me in that trailer is they show the character Dove from Hawk and Dove cutting up a dude, slicing his legs with her wings and scratching his face. They showed it very briefly, but you could see some blood and probably some flesh taken off there. Unless I am putting too much investment in that one episode of Justice League Unlimited, isn't the Dove of Hawk and Dove supposed to be the pacifist? I don't think pacifists are known to lacerate. I just don't think it's what they do. You can't take the gritty and cynical world of Daredevil and say that it applies to all the Titans. I need to make these vlogs shorter. So, Cassie's probably going to be in a live-action movie. Who knows if it's going to be any good? We don't really have a reason to think it will be, but maybe DC could surprise us. They surprised us with Wonder Woman. And the trailer for the Titans just plane looks terrible. You never know. Maybe the series is different from the trailer. But if it is, they picked a really stupid idea for the trailer. Take care.